Okay, everybody, my name is Jeremy, and this is week 4 video review for our Java 1 class. I would have to say my application does not look that bad considering we've only had 4 weeks of Java experience. So let's go ahead and take a look at the application. I got a custom theme on there with a blue action bar at the very top. This week I added a second spinner, so that way we can go ahead and pull information specific to what I'm looking for in this application. So you can see here it pulled all the earthquakes for 1 day, and if we turn off Wi-Fi, it actually calls that jar file that we created to see if there's connectivity or not. So we'll go ahead and change it to the past hour and then try to get all the earthquakes. It gives you that dialog. It will continue to give you that dialog until you reconnect to the internet. So let's go ahead and reconnect to the internet. Once it is reconnected, you can see you don't have to restart the application or anything. It will continue to run straight from there. And I added that toast at the bottom to let you know that the loading is completed. I want to put a progress bar in here somewhere because I'm going to show you exactly one reason. So let's go ahead and get the past 30 days of earthquakes. You'll get all of them. This is probably going to pull about 500 arrays down, or JSON objects and arrays inside of it. So it does take a couple seconds, maybe even up to a minute for it to download all of them. Here's where I wanted to put the progress bar. That's probably something I'm going to work on this weekend, or maybe next month. They'll show us how to go ahead and work with the progress bars and how to do data in the background while everything is running. You can see here it loaded all the earthquakes. Everything from a 0.1 all the way up gets loaded on this application. So let's go ahead and take a look at the code. So you can see here my main thread, there's not much change to it. I slimmed it down a little bit. Here's my method to go ahead and call the jar file. And I have the second spinner disabled until you actually enable the first spinner, so that way there's no accidents, there's no complications or anything with it. It also checks the internet connectivity. Once you go ahead and you hit the second spinner, you can see right here it does it again. And once you do hit the second spinner, it will actually call the execute data and the load quake list. I separated these off the main create method just so it doesn't skip any frames when it does load up. So you can see here it executes the data. It basically goes and gets the data from my other Java package, Java class within another Java package over here. You can see it. And it just runs through that Java class and it'll collect the data and then return it back to the main thread to be loaded up inside this one method right here, the load quake list. I do have some, this is where I added the custom themes on there. I got my action bar, added some images to it, and just call the images from the theme as well as from the main thread. And here's my layout for the application. I got a linear layout as well as a relative layout for the list view. And let's go ahead and take a look at my actual arrays. This basically pulls all the URL strings from the getData class to go ahead and load it onto the main thread. I didn't want to put this all inside the strings, so I separated it so that way I can keep it a little bit more organized on there. And let's see here, what would I have done differently? I wouldn't have done much different, to be honest. I like the application the way it is, and I think it's making progress. It's not where I want it to be, but that does take time and some more knowledge of Java. Right now, compared to Objective-C, I would have to say Java is winning just because I know the limitations that Objective-C and iOS have. With Java, it's basically endless. You can do anything you really want with Java. You can even write Java applications for other platforms. So I am looking forward to more classes with Java. Hopefully they're as informative as this one, so we get a lot of information in a short amount of time. Some clarifications, I would say, describe the method calling in more than one way. For example, calling the jar file, you called it for a layout. Maybe give another example as well. This is how you can call it for something else, so we can get an idea of how to change that one call instead of using that specific one type of call. And a little bit more clarifications of what we could have done. compared to what we needed to do for the rubric. Um, the progress bar, for example, would have been a nice little touch to the UI. Several other little things, adding images, just the basics, just to get us a hands-on feel for the new IDE compared to Xcode. Would have been nice this class. It was just kind of like jump in the water, here you go full steam on it, here's the coding, and just figure out the IDE as you go along. Other than that, I would have to say the class was very nice, went along smooth, and I learned a lot this month. And I hope to see you guys all next month.